took 2,000 years to complete, and it stretches over 4,000 miles. In a recent worldwide poll, it was voted one of the world's greatest treasures. The Great Wall of China is a man-made miracle that unites over 1 billion people and more than 50 ethnic groups. It's a powerful national icon and supreme among the 7 wonders of China. Each day, over 10,000 visitors set foot on China's most famous tourist attraction. Busloads of people stand proudly in front of a large stone engraved with the thought of Chairman Mao Zedong. You are not a man until you have walked on the Great Wall.
每次来都感到很自豪啊，很这些张力了，很这些是祖国的光荣的张力的历史的悠久历史了。
In a 2007 worldwide poll to determine the new wonders of the world, the Great Wall eased effortlessly into the top 7, gathering accolades from all parts of the globe and proving that it is indeed a wonder of wonders.
Incredible proof of perseverance and persistence.
The Great Wall is the path connecting the ancient China with the modern.
A symbol of unity and protection.
Miraculous and remarkable feat of ingenuity.
The Great Wall is a symbol of the longevity of the Chinese civilization.
To the people of China, the Great Wall means a lot, both spiritually and physically. Throughout history, many countries have tried to invade our country. At those times, the Great Wall united the nation. There's a line in our national anthem that says, "With our very flesh and blood, let us build a new Great Wall."
The Great Wall has witnessed China's entire history, from the founding of the nation to the cultural and economic revolutions of modern times. Through human conflicts and natural disasters, the wall has stood firm. Mao Zedong, the charismatic communist leader, used the Great Wall to inspire his flagging troops during the infamous Long March, which began in 1934, a grueling year-long 6,000-mile trek in which 90% of the marchers perished. To spur the survivors on to their goal, Chairman Mao wrote a poem declaring that the Great Wall was their destination, a symbol of perseverance and national unity.
The sky is high, the clouds are pale. We watch the wild geese vanish southward. If we fail to reach the Great Wall, we are not men.
Crossing 9 different provinces and 100 counties, the Great Wall is not just the nation's greatest monument, it's an enduring symbol of human achievement.
I think Western people don't know so much about China, but what they know is the Great Wall. I think it's a huge size, or the length of the Great Wall, which is so impressive.
Well, we always heard that you could see it from the moon, so...
Yeah.
Well before human space travel, people were claiming the wall as the only man-made structure visible from the moon. It's one of many myths and legends that such a great wonder attracts.
When China's first astronaut went into space and then came back, last year or the year before, he held a press conference after coming back to Earth, and somebody asked him in a very expectant tone whether he saw the Great Wall from space, and people were very disappointed when he said no.
David Spindler is a lone scholar who, for the last 13 years, has walked the wall as part of his research. He spent nearly 700 days on its steps and turrets, hiking hundreds of miles. It's an impressive record, but it'd be hard to cover the full stretch of the Great Wall with even a lifetime of trekking.
It's correct to say that China has great walls because they're not continuous. In fact, It's generally continuous only in places that were most susceptible to Mongol raids.
The Great Wall of China is actually a network of walls and towers built over the course of 2,000 years. It predates a unified China, with origins in the defensive stone borders built by separate warring kingdoms between the 5th and 2nd centuries BC. These walls only became part of a bigger picture during the reign of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, China's first emperor, who united the country for the first time in 221 BC. To protect his new kingdom against invaders, Emperor Qin ordered his people to connect the defensive walls that had been built by his enemies. It was the first time the people of China were united in a single project.
Emperor Qin would dispatch 30,000 soldiers in one go under General Meng Tian to work on the Great Wall. Many civilians and prisoners were also forced to join the construction. Whenever construction work was required, it would involve tens of thousands of people.
Emperor Qin was a visionary with enormous ambitions. He began two massive projects: the unification of the Great Wall and the building of his own tomb containing the renowned terracotta warriors. 2,000 years after his death, these remain two of China's largest and most treasured icons.
He was the first emperor in China to put in place measures that united the country. He was a great contributor to history, and his name continues to this day. But he also did many wrongs. There were many objections and many casualties while building the Great Wall and his other big projects.
His massive projects were known for their unprecedented scale and also their dreadful human toll. It's said that every foot of the Great Wall cost one human life. The early construction of the Great Wall depended only on thin layers of earth, pressed firmly on top of one another. The defensive barrier only needed to withstand the onslaught of swords and spears. But simple as it was in design, the task of building a 20-feet-high wall out of layers, each 4 inches thick, was still a back-breaking process. Emperor Qin's Great Wall ran along what was the country's first northern frontier. In the following dynasty, the Han, the Great Wall extended its reach into the Gobi Desert, responding to new areas of enemy attack.
Different dynasties built walls in different places, often. And if they were building new wall, that would be a greenfield project.
During the Han Dynasty, building techniques remained much the same. But the sandy soil in the desert had to be reinforced by adding reeds between the layers. It was over a millennium later before the construction of the Great Wall took a great leap forward. The builders of the Ming Dynasty made a wall that was much bigger, grander, and stronger. They were desperate to repel a wave of Mongol attacks that were becoming ever more fierce and relentless.
There was a major raid in this area in 1550. Several thousands of Mongols got inside the wall. That was a devastating raid. 60,000 Chinese killed, 40,000 taken prisoner, several 100,000 head of livestock lost. And the Chinese response to that raid, or part of the response, was to rebuild the wall of stone and mortar, a lot like the mortar that you see right here. And that was a significant advance over the wall that was built before that. That wall was generally just dry stones piled on top of each other.
China's defenses were being put to the most severe of tests, cannons fired with gunpowder. The Ming Dynasty's response was to build stone walls and eventually use even tougher, kiln-fired bricks. Each brick was brought up the sheer slopes and put in place by hand.
And this brick here is an example of a stamp that was put in the brick before it was fired. And the information that it tells us is it was made in the 5th year of the Wanli reign, which is 1577, by the Shitanglu military company, which was based about 30 kilometers away from here.
Much of the Great Wall that tourists see today are made up of such bricks, dating from the most spectacular and productive period of construction during the 15th and 17th centuries. At the most impressive sections near Beijing, the Great Wall towers 25 feet high and 30 feet wide at the base. The structure took shape over the years to incorporate passes, signal towers, and watchtowers, all designed to make the wall into an impenetrable defense barrier.
The watchtower that we're seeing here was part of a large project to build towers from the ocean to an area west of Beijing, starting in around 1569. The main purpose of the towers is to provide shelter from Mongol bows and arrows.
Watchtowers were the mainstay of China's defense strategy. Soldiers would keep a close watch from these lookout points and launch preemptive strikes. In the event of a raid, the Chinese had to mobilize troops instantly. They developed a signaling system that used the wall to communicate over vast distances in a matter of minutes.
Smoke and fire were the main methods used in the signal system. Smoke during day and fire during night to show the amount of the enemy.
The number of the signals indicated the strength of the enemy. One signal would mean that there were 100 enemy soldiers approaching. 2 would mean 500, and 3, 1,000. 4 fires indicated an approaching army of 5,000. It's said that in extreme emergencies, wolf dung was added to the fire to make the smoke thick and black. To this day, the Chinese phrase wolf smoke means crisis. The Great Wall enabled rulers to communicate efficiently with faraway troops. However, in the wrong hands, the effectiveness of the signaling system could lead to disaster. King Yo, leader of the Zhao kingdom, fell in love with a beautiful slave named Baosi. So taken was he with his lover that he dethroned his original queen and had Baosi crowned in her place. Baosi was a woman of exceptional beauty, but she was known for never smiling, in spite of the best efforts of King Yo.
Queen Baosi did not like smiling, so in order to make her smile, King Yu thought of all kinds of methods, but failed for many times.
King Yo finally came up with a plan with the help of a cunning court official. The official suggested he play a practical joke on his commanders by lighting smoke signals and fooling them into believing they were under attack. And the shock on their faces when they rushed to the palace and found they'd been tricked would surely make the queen smile at last.
When the princes arrived, they saw the king. They saw no enemy but the king and the smiling queen. The queen was smiling because maybe she never saw such a funny thing. And the king was happy. But the princess, you can imagine, they were very angry.
The commanders had lost trust in their king they'd rushed to protect. Later, when an armed rebellion broke out and the palace was indeed under siege, the king ordered signal fires to be lit from towers all along the wall. But this time, none of his troops came to his rescue. The rebels stormed the palace, and King Yo and Queen Baosi were taken and killed.
The Western Zhou ended. The Eastern Zhou started. So, you know, the story of the beautiful lady and the smoke signal and the tyrant King Yu destroyed the smoke signal system.
Today, modern technology sends messages across the vast landscapes instantly. Wires take the place of smoke and carry messages further than ever before. Every day, thousands of tourists take a piece of this imposing monument back with them in their holiday snapshots. But in the outlying areas of Shanxi province, under the less conspicuous shadow of the Great Wall, people have been literally taking pieces of the wall to build their homes for many years. This little village named Victory Castle, close to the border with Inner Mongolia, owes its existence to the stones of the Great Wall. The laughter of the village children echoes from the bricks taken from China's most prized cultural treasure. The huge dirt mounds near the village are actually remnants of the wall. After centuries, what we see is barely a ghost of the monument's former glory. Village life seems to pass it by without a second glance. There are no tour guides here, no postcard vendors, no photographers. The Great Wall has blended in with the landscape and with the lives of the people living in its shadow.
The Great Wall has been here for a very long time. Even the most recent Ming Great Wall is 400 to 500 years old. Earlier Great Walls are 1,000 to 2,000 years old. In the past, when our country was in poverty and poorly managed, commoners demolished parts of the Great Wall for building materials.
Bulldozed to make way for highways and its bricks turned into building blocks, the Great Wall is now threatened by the very people it was meant to protect. Surveys show that only a fifth of the entire wall is fully intact, and much of it is deemed to be in ruins. Around a half has disappeared altogether, and it's still under threat.
In recent times, it's humans that have been damaging the Great Wall more. Those who don't appreciate its historical value won't be keen on protecting it. Driven by economic interests, they cause damage.
In 2002, the Great Wall was put on the list of the world's 100 most endangered sites. It was built to protect China, but now China must protect the wall. The Great Wall is part of China's lifeblood. Every day, thousands of people see the wall for the first time. The income from tourism is huge. With more than 350 miles of wall in the greater Beijing area, it draws people from every corner of the earth who can say they set foot on the Great Wall. After 2,000 years, it still never fails to impress.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can see it from down the road, and it's like, and it is very impressive, alright. That's what I've seen so far, and it's like so.
Yeah. Also saw that it would be very impressive, and it is, and yeah, it's a great place. Very, yeah, fantastic.
Because if you're in Beijing, then it's your duty to go there, more or less. Because I think it's one of the main sites, especially for Western people. Yeah.
Formerly a defensive barrier, the Great Wall has become a modern pilgrimage site for curious tourists, history buffs, and adventurers. An ancient monument, but also one that continues to inspire new traditions. There's even a televised game show that takes athletes on a massive endurance challenge. Known as one of the toughest marathons in the world, the grueling race slows even the fittest down to a crawl on the steepest of its 3,700 steps. For athletes, it's the ultimate challenge. For scholars, the Great Wall is a treasure trove of history. For China, it served as a defensive barrier, a political icon, and most of all, a source of national pride.
很佩服他们古代人在没有起重机的情况下，完全靠人力，造成这么伟大的工程。
就是我们的祖先，用他们的聪明和智慧。
Our ancestors built a great cultural landmark for all of mankind. They used their intelligence and wisdom as well as their diligence and bravery. Whenever foreigners talk about the Great Wall, we will feel really proud. Proud of our ancestors for the miracle that they created.
This magnificent creation is the product of the collective effort of the Chinese people. It's a symbol of perseverance, endurance, and ultimately triumph. It united the country in its construction, and it continues to unite the people today as a reminder of their ancestors' achievements.